Hello again, and welcome back. If you don't know what time it is, clearly you are not subscribed. If you do, you know it's that time. So I have debated over whether or not to actually tell this story on YouTube, primarily because it involves language, very strong language, and it is a story that I've tried to tell clean, and it just does not hit as hard as it does when I use the language. So, for all intents and purposes, this is not kid friendly, and this is a story about Frank. And Frank, we'll get there. So, again, not kid friendly, guys. It is what it is. Please forgive me for the language, but it's just not as fun or as funny unless I say what I'm getting ready to say. So this story is about Frank. And let's start with how it all started. I grabbed Little Feet and I decide that we're going to go fishing. No big deal. We go down to the 7-Eleven. We grab some worms. He's got his Paw Patrol fishing pole. I've got the one that we drug up off the bottom of a river maybe 15, 20 years ago, and still trying to make work. Doesn't work, but it works well enough to go fishing locally. So I grab Little Feet and I throw him in the truck, and down to the river we go. We walk down there, and as I'm walking down, I notice a whole bunch of what we'll call goose shit. For those of you who don't know what is happening right now, it's called foreshadowing. But anyhow, I noticed a whole bunch of goose shit, and I'm not really paying attention to it. Don't care. Haven't seen any birds. No big deal. There's no eggs. There's no nest. Whatever, man. Rocks and goose shit. That's what a river normally looks like. So we're down there. I open up the tackle box. I open up the can of worms. I throw a worm on his hook. He throws straight into the rapids because that's Little Feet, and there are no fish there, and he doesn't catch anything for maybe 10 minutes. Me, I'm throwing into the flats with a bobber, and if we catch a perch or a sunfish this big, it's a solid W for the day. So we're out there for, like I said, maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. If I had the ability to include a picture of what this bird looks like, I would, but I don't. Maybe I will in post edit or maybe in the comments below or in the description. I don't know. I really don't know how to do it. Anyhow, there's a duck, and by all technicalities, it is a duck. And my son, Little Feet, goes, "Hey, Daddy, look at the duck." I was like, "Yeah, look at that duck. That's pretty cool." And so he's sitting there and he's grinning as big as he can, and he's got his fishing reel, and I take a picture, and there it is. There's the duck behind him. No harm, no foul, no big deal. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I cast again. There's nothing going on because this river is polluted and it's terrible and it's nasty, but we were out there and we were having fun, whatever. And at this point in time, you know what I mean? I'm putting another worm on his hook, and I happen to look over, and this bird, at this point in time, I'm gonna call him Frank. At this point in time, Frank is maybe 10 yards from me. Still in the water, no big deal. Kind of looking a little bit fucked up. This is where the language starts. Like a jacked up, fucked up looking bird. And I look at him, I kind of glance at him like, it's a little bit disconcerting. Whatever. Put the worm on the hook. He throws it straight back out in the rapids and gets hung up in a tree and spends 5 minutes reeling it. At this point in time, Frank has now landed on the beach of dad time. And I realize at this point in time that Frank is not happy about us being here. So my attention shifts from having fun with my son to what the fuck is going on over here. Well, Frank is now up on the shore, and everything in my nature and everything in my body is like, be big, like kind of yell at it, whatever. And so I spread out and I'm hollering and everything else. And this bird does the exact same thing. He does the, "Come at me, bro." Shit. So I like, again, like this bird is being very aggressive to me. I've got my son over here. I'm in between the bird and my son. I look at him, and at that moment, I decide to kick the ever-loving shit out of Frank. So I do the good old-fashioned and send it straight through the field goal post. Pow! Pow! Bird lets out this weird look of kind of thing, and it goes flying maybe 5 feet. He kind of regroups himself while I'm trying to regroup myself and look over back at my son. Dad, and he's looking at me. He's like, "Daddy, what's wrong with that bird?" And I was like, "I don't know, but it's getting, maybe he'll leave us alone. We'll keep on fishing." So I grab my fishing reel up and I toss it back out. And at that point in time, I realized that fucking Frank is coming back for seconds. I look at my son. I look at the bird. He is now re-breached the beach of dad time. So I throw down my fishing reel and I look at Frank again. And he's doing the come at me bro thing. All right. He's 5 feet away from me. I was like, all right, maybe I'll just kick him again. No, he then charges. He's waist height maybe, but I'm going to pretend he's right here. What ended up happening was I took my left hand, I smacked his head, and then with my right hand, I grabbed onto his neck. And this bird goes, as he should, full freak out mode and just claws me up, right? And just wings flopping all over the place, everything else. And I do the full on like Olympic style discus throw. I give it a one full good spin and just whoa! Now, it's a good thing that I'm not an Olympian because I think he only went maybe 20 yards. Anyhow, 15, I say yards, I mean feet. 20 feet. This bird maybe goes 20 feet. And he hits the water. He's got one wing up. He's got a leg up. His head's underwater, and he kind of flops around for a couple of seconds. And again, I'm at this point in time, I'm focusing on my son. Hey, bud, let's go ahead and reel it in. And Daddy's going to reel his in, and then we'll pack up the tackle box, and then we'll go ahead and leave. At this moment, down comes this lady with her little Pikachu fucking Chihuahua fucking dog, yapping the whole time, and she's like, "My dog would kill that bird. You need me to let my dog loose to kill that bird?" No, lady, just no. Just calm down. My dog will fuck that bird up. I guarantee it. All right, literally, like, just calm down. I'm here with my son. I'm trying to collect everything. Like, just give us a couple minutes. So we get everything reeled in. I'm hooking in, like his hook. I'm hooking in mine. We've got the fishing reel squared away. I'm trying to piece together like the worms and everything and close up the tackle box. I'll be damned if Frank doesn't come back. So we got this lady down here hollering about her dog attacking and killing this bird. And this bird is 4 times the size of that dog. And she's still hollering about, "I'm gonna get that dog to fuck that bird up." No, my son's like, "Daddy, what's going on?" And meanwhile, Frank is over here, "What's up, bro?" All right, so naturally, the only thing that I can do is, "Hey, buddy, I tell you what, why don't you pick that rock up and see how far you can throw it?" So he picks up a rock and just hucks it as far as he can. Meanwhile, I'm over here grabbing onto Frank and hucking him as far as I can. That bird goes down the river one more time. At this point in time, this lady's, there's like 5 people up on the bank taking pictures and video. By the way, if you have video of this, please send it to me. There's an audience, and there's this lady hollering about her little Chihuahua dog that's going to tear this bird up. And Little Feet is over there hucking rocks down the river, having a good old time. So I grab up the fishing reels, I grab up the tackle box. I said, "Bud, come on." At this point in time, Frank is coming back for another time. So I have to set everything back down and tell him to go throw another rock. Meanwhile, I'm grabbing this bird and I yoke him up by his neck this time. At this point in time, he has clawed my arm to pieces. He's bleeding, I'm bleeding. I mean, I have genuinely fucked this bird up. So I'm holding on to him as tight as I possibly can. And everyone on the shore and everyone, including the lady, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. All right, I'm not going to kill this bird. You guys calm down. Meanwhile, I'm squeezing so hard that this goose's neck has now collapsed far enough for my fingers to actually touch my palm. So All of a sudden, Frank stops going to, and his wings stop flapping, and his legs stop kicking, and the blood starts pouring, and everyone's screaming, "Don't kill it!" And I'm standing there. I'm not going to kill this bird. I'm not going to kill this bird. Meanwhile, this thing is about to attack me and my son 4 or 5 times in a row. And so once he stops flapping, once he stops kicking and everything else, I hook him again. Down the river he goes. At this point in time, I am now like full on 100% adrenaline pumping. Like I'm almost shaking. No, I am shaking at this point in time. Like I can't pick up the fishing pole or the tackle box, and like I said, I'm bleeding profusely, and I look downstream, and Frank's got like his head underwater. He's got one wing up and a leg sticking out. To his credit, he actually does kind of come back topside, but his head's doing this number and the wing's still sticking out like this. So naturally, I fuck Frank up. Anyhow, at this point in time, I grab everything, the fishing poles and the tackle box, put it in my right hand. I'm bleeding. And I grab my son. I said, "All right, buddy, come on. Calm, cool, and collected. Come on, buddy." Meanwhile, I'm like vibrating. I'm so like pumped up. This lady's still hollering about her dog killing the bird. And there's 5 or 6 people up there taking videos. And we walk back up. I throw the fishing gear in the back of the truck. I pull down my first aid kit, clean myself up, call my wife. Hey, I don't know if I've got AIDS. I don't know if I've got like sepsis. I don't know what I have, but like this bird, like avian flu, I don't know. This bird fucked me up, and I fucked this bird up. And she's like, "Calm down, take a minute, call your dad, figure out if you actually need to go to the hospital." Call my dad up. He's like, "Nah, you'd be all right. Just rub it down, throw some dirt on it, spit on it, and put some ice on it." Dad advice. So, like I said, I mean, I'm dumping rubbing alcohol on it. I'm wiping it down, Neosporin and everything else. I've got some pretty good claw marks on me. All of that to say, that is my confrontation with fucking Frank. And this story is a humorous confrontation between a bird and myself. But it is also kind of I am alluding to another story that I will tell you maybe tomorrow. But ultimately, the main message I want to get across for today is that fuck birds, number one. Number two, be prepared at any moment to come across a threat. Number 3, recognize when you're not being threatened. Those are the 3 main things that I want to bring out. And was it a life or death threat? No, not at all. I mean, I did have a knife, and you know what I mean? Had I thought about it and my son not been there, I'd just cut that bird and been done with it. But the fact of the matter is that there was a lot of people standing there watching, and my son was there, so I'm not trying to traumatize him. Although he still kind of alludes to, Daddy messed that bird up. Daddy messed that duck up. Yeah, Daddy sure did. But it wasn't nearly as traumatizing for him to see Daddy cut that bird's head off and throw it down the river. And it also wasn't as offensive for all those people to be standing there watching, because they were able to see that bird actually pop its head back up and float down the river. That bird might have been dead, but they didn't know that. I don't know that. So be aware of your surroundings. Always be aware of your surroundings. And take the moment, like in that adrenaline pumping, like just, man, I'm ready to go kind of moment. Be aware of, number 1, who's watching you. Number 2, what are going to be the outcomes? And number 3, how are you going to share that story? And in what way is that going to provide a legacy or a problem? And that is more or less my story about Frank. Just be aware of your surroundings, but also recognize when there's like an actual like real threat versus like a bird. Anyhow, that's all I got for you guys. Like it if you want. Comment. I will respond back. As a matter of fact, if you guys comment and tell me about your own Frank stories, I'd love to hear them. As a matter of fact, I actually have one about a bull named Dinner that I might tell and I might not. Who knows? But on top of that, I also have a follow-up video that is about kind of keeping your cool as best you can. So that's all I got for you guys tonight. Appreciate you watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Fuck Frank.